Hello, once again, Jack Olesker here, and I'm very happy to say that Kim and I are at the end of the road on getting our house ready to be sold here, getting ready to move into another wonderful home not so far away, but that will be a lot less maintenance. We're on a triple lot here backing up to the golf course, and it's a lot of maintenance. We've got a lot of doors with rooms closed because two of our children have graduated from college and are doing their own thing. And our third one is, I'm very proud to say, he was inducted into the National Honor Society recently, but he's a junior. He's going to graduate from high school pretty soon, go wherever he wants to go, I'm sure. 4.22 grade point average. He'll either be a congressman or a con man, and nowadays there's a thin line between the two. So Kim and I are going through some changes, which is good. You know, the Chinese have a saying, may you live in interesting times, and we surely do. This has been a lot of work for us. Gosh, what you can accumulate in 15 years, it's just unbelievable. But we're closer to the end than we are the beginning. So they're going to come in today and shoot the house. They're going to do all the photographs, and then we'll list it on the 21st. So very exciting. Anyway, getting back to my adventure back in, I guess it was like 1988, something like that, 90 maybe. And I just finished doing all those episodes of Heroes on Hot Wheels in France, and that was a really good gig. You know, I was pounding them out, and it was really good. I had great working conditions. You know, when I was at Jean Chateau, you know, the staff would bring in my breakfast on a silver platter. Oh my gosh! So it was pretty good work. And then I'd get back. You know, as I said, I learned some things when I was in France. And like I said before, my dad said it's what you learn after you know it all that counts. And it's true, you know. I learned a lot about not being ethnocentric. Everybody's proud of their own country. And I learned that the French, you know, they're really, really nice people. They've got this reputation that they're smug and arrogant and everything. But, you know, everybody that I encountered was really engaging and nice, which was pleasant. I'm sure the fact that I, you know, speak French, that helped. If you don't speak French, you can go over there, try to learn, you know, at least some phrases so they see you're making an effort. And it was a good experience for me. Came up with one of the best lines that I ever came up with flying over on Air France in business class. And we're at 35,000 feet halfway across the Atlantic, and I go up to this just gorgeous flight attendant. In those days, we called them stewardesses, but no longer. But I came up to her, and you know, they're so used to getting hit on, okay? And I walk up to her, and like I said, 35,000 feet halfway across the Atlantic, and I say, "Are you from around here?" Kim's smiling. Boy, what a wonderful wife. You know, it doesn't bother her that I flirt a little bit. I don't care that she flirts a little bit, you know. I know she's coming home with me and I'm coming home with her, but boy, there's nothing more attractive than a confident wife. So I told this flight attendant, "Are you from around here?" And I did it deadpan. And she looks at me for a second, she's quiet, and she tilts her head, and all of a sudden she started laughing. And we had dinner at a brasserie in Paris on the left bank that evening. So that was a really good line. You're allowed to use it if you're ever on a flight somewhere. And for the ladies that are watching, it works equally well with male flight attendants. So anyway, but you got to be single. Okay, that's the key. You got to be single in order to do that. So I get back to Palm Springs, and I take like a week off, just lay at the pool and veg, you know, I'm just decompressing. And Mark Taylor calls me. Mark, I told you, used to be the CFO at DIC, and then Jean left, and you know, after Andy did the buyout, and there was a certain period of time, and it makes sense, you know, it's a non-compete. You can't start coming up with new shows and form another production company, but that time had run out, and John has his own production company now, Jetlag. And Mark was running things for him in the LA office. And Mark calls me up. He says, look, he says, I got something I think you're going to find really interesting. I said, okay, you know. So I drive into LA, and he said, I know you've worked on so many series, you know, but here's something that's a little bit different. We've got a buy from a company called Golden Entertainment. I think, well, you can quote me because I'm making the statement, but I think it was in association with Mattel. I'm not 100% sure. But certainly it was in association with Jetlag. And Mark says, we want you to write a number of standalone direct-to-video movies. And I thought, wow, you know, that's just fantastic. It's, you know, it'll be such a different experience from writing a series, whether it was episodic where they were standalones or a continuing storyline. You know, when you're dealing with a series, you're doing 13, 26, 52, some cases more, 65 on New Adventures of He-Man, and you're dealing with the same characters over and over and over and over again. And I thought, you know, this is going to be really interesting because it's a different movie every time I'm doing it. So I said, what are the movies? And Mark started telling me, and they're all classics. And I've got a little cheat sheet here because it was a long time ago, so you'll excuse me. And here's what I was doing. The Nutcracker, A Christmas Carol. My God, you know, I'm adapting Charles Dickens, Pocahontas, Thumbelina, the three, I almost said the Three Stooges, the Three Musketeers, Sinbad, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. And I said, okay, you know, that's great. And, you know, the easy part of this was, it's not easy, but it's easier, is that I was going from an existing story, a concept, a play, whatever. I mean, Aladdin, you know, Christmas Carol, those are all been done, Pocahontas. So my groundwork was a little bit laid out for me ahead of time, and I'm pounding these things out. And it never occurred to me that there was a common link between those titles. And, you know, I really got to give props to the lady that was the executive producer and the owner of Good Times. Golden Videos, Golden Films, I think. And what she very cleverly did, with the exception of Nutcracker and A Christmas Carol, was that she was piggybacking on Disney's feature film releases. Pocahontas, The Three Musketeers, Sinbad, The Little Mermaid, are you kidding me? Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. So I thought that was kind of clever, you know, a little bit, but, you know, business is business. So I write them all. And, you know, over the years, I've had an interesting relationship with Disney, and kind of up and down, up and down. I had the great honor of working with Lauren Schuler Donner, who was the widow. I'm sorry, she was married to the late great Richard Donner, the director, and she was an amazing lady. And Andy lent me out to Barry and Enright, to his dad, Deke Hayward, not to be confused with DIC Entertainment, D-E-K-E. And I'm sure I mentioned this before, and I wrote Winky Dink and You for Disney Channel, and I worked with Lauren Schuler Donner on that. And I'm in the middle of writing it, and I get a call from Andy. He's frantic. He says, they can't stand what you're doing. They got problems with this. They got problems with that. I said, what can I say? I said, I'll come in and I'll do whatever I need to do to fix it. So then about 2 days later, I get a call from Andy, and he says, they love what you did. Everything is fabulous. So, that was an odd project. It took about 7 or 8 months to have the pilot go through the process at Disney. And, in fairness to Disney, they're an enormous organization. So there's many, many moving parts and many different departments. I get it. But, it was frustrating for me as a writer. I'm a Seabiscuit and man of war. I like to go, 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 go. But that was an odd experience. And then now, I'm doing all these shows, and as I said, it never occurred to me that she was kind of piggybacking on these Disney shows. So after it was produced and went into marketing and was selling and really sold well. I mean, I think we sold tens of millions of these tapes. Okay, so direct to video. So I get a call that Disney's going to sue, okay? And, I don't mean this to be disparaging, but Disney is one of the most litigious organizations in the world, and they're justifiably protective of their franchises. They think they own Peter Pan. Well, sorry, but you don't, It wasn't you that wrote it. And, they must have just, I can only imagine the chaos at Disney when Mickey Mouse fell out and went into public domain. My God, the lawyers must have been going out of their minds. How are we going to defend this now and everything? Well, they certainly found a way. So now I'm getting this call, these are Disney properties, and you've plagiarized. Wow, what a word for me to hear after 1,000 episodes at that time. You've plagiarized these. And I'm on the phone, I think it was with one of their attorneys or a representative from Disney. And he's throwing all this stuff to me. And after this tirade that goes on for about, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, really verbally assaulting me, he's quiet for a second and he says, Jasmine, you use Jasmine in Aladdin. It's the same name even. I didn't know. This is what they gave me. So he says, what do you have to say for yourself? And I paused. It's always a good idea to pause because it kind of throws the other person off. And I said, here's what I have to say for myself. I have never seen a single Disney movie. And that is the truth. I made it a point early in my career, I'm working for another production company. Disney is, this brobdingnations, enormous organization. You want to stay away from me. Don't ever be accused of anything. I made it a point never to watch any of them. And boy, did I want to watch Aladdin. Boy, did I ever want to watch Little Mermaid. Stayed away. And the lawyer was quiet for a second on the other end, or the representative, whoever it was. And he said, we'll be in touch with you. And never heard back from him after that. So I had a lot of fun writing those movies. I mean, it was like 11 or 12 full-length movies, so that was really fun. So that's about it for this episode. Kim and I are going to be appearing at I'm going to be appearing at a Comic-Con. We'll be selling a lot of different things of mine that I've accumulated over the years, memorabilia, and I'm on a panel there, and that's this coming Saturday. And I think in the next episode, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about what I'm going to do on that panel, because they've got an interesting topic. And I was there the beginning and throughout the golden age of television animation, the 80s and 90s. So I can talk with knowledge, and they've got an interesting topic for us panelists, and I'll discuss that in the next episode. In the meantime, Kim and I we're 3 seasons through Emily in Paris. I so highly recommend that you watch this series on Netflix. You can stream it. So cute, okay? And she backs into being an influencer, and she's got like hundreds of thousands of likes. We have like hardly any likes. Will you guys please like us a little bit and follow us? And I jest a little bit, but I'm so glad that those of you who are enjoying our videos, that you keep doing so. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.